Since 2009, we've had several new predominant clonal lineages of the late blight pathogen, of Phytophthora infestans, here in Wisconsin and across the U.S. These new clonal lineages include US22, US23, and US24. And each of these types, we consider them novel because the previous predominating strains or lineages, which were US1, US7, US8, are no longer found. The US22 clonal lineage was unique in that it is believed to have come into to our state on infected tomato transplants. And many U.S. states had that same scenario in 2009. From there, it did spread into home gardens and into small farm production, primarily on tomato, but did make its way to the potato main crop in 2009, and we did see it again in 2010. In 2010, 2011, we had multiple strains present in state on both tomato and potato. In those years, we did see the emergence of US23 and US24 at the time. As we moved into 2012, we did then see an exclusively US23 population emerge. And we've not seen US22 or US24 in this past year. And we don't expect to see those again. Again, with the predomination of US23, primarily in our potato volunteers and potentially in our potato seed crop, not just from our state but others, we do expect that if late blight is problematic again, it will most likely be of the US23 clonal lineage. So what is the characterization of 23? Well, it is a strain which can go to potatoes and tomatoes. It produces prolific sporulation on host tissues. So what that means is that you get an initial infection. If unmanaged, US23 will produce a high number of new spores, or what we term secondary inoculum, in that crop. And then it does cause an enhanced or a more severe epidemic with that load of secondary inoculum. So US23 is one that certainly needs immediate attention and management if identified in a field. It's also a clonal lineage which can be managed with use of mefenoxam or metalaxyl products. It does have overall sensitivity to that specific active ingredient. Our research program has been multifaceted here in late blight, and at the outset, our interest is in characterizing the pathogen population. We provide growers with updates as to what strains are present where in state, what strains are present where within the United States, so that producers can have a more prescriptive approach to their late blight management in their production fields. This information is provided to our growers on a biweekly basis. In fact, we provide updates at my vegetable pathology website through UW Extension, and growers can find various information at that site, but in particular they can look up our blight cast warnings, which tells them of critical times for prophylactically managing late blight in production fields here in state. Nationally, there is a program to aid producers and extension pathologists and county agents, crop consultants with late blight characterization. While each state may have its own specific programming to help characterize the pathogen, as we do here in Wisconsin, here within my program, we do have a national project that's it's led by Dr. Howard Judelson at the University of California. And we have several hub labs across the United States which are set up to receive late blight samples with the promise of a quick return of a characterization report. Here in Wisconsin, my program offers growers a disease forecasting tool to aid in decision making for timing and selecting their fungicide program for prophylactic late blight management. What we term this is BlightCast, and this is a tool which utilizes environmental conditions which are favorable for late blight, And it gives us essentially a accumulation of disease severity values or risks over time. And when those numbers or those risk values reach 18, research has shown us that that's an appropriate time point for initiating a fungicide program to prevent late blight development in the potato crop.